into it yet again. So if you're on Instagram and you haven't heard the news already, you should probably double check that you're not sharing your location with them and all your followers. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. I understand the premise behind the business decision. Like, I graduated with a degree in business. I'm currently going to school for a master's of accounting, so it's not lost on me as to like why Instagram would make the decision to, share the location of their users, because Snapchat has the feature with Snapchat Maps, which again in itself is questionable. But the added caveat here, there's the added caveat of they're just rolling it out. And if you've had your location shared previously, then that just means that your location is suddenly shared with dozens, or in the worst cases, hundreds of people. Or thousands. It's just stupid. Because again, it's a collection of data is what they're aiming for, and it just kind of helps them either refine some version of the algorithm or some subset of it. And because they're also connected to Meta and Facebook and everything, so you just know that they are purposefully gathering the data for usage in some other facet of the business, whether that be in the llama models for their AI, or with the autonomous vehicles, which I don't know if Facebook is in that realm of it, but they're probably dipping their toes in somewhere. But again, if your location is on for Instagram, double check your settings, double check permissions, and just turn it off. Just don't even risk it. So like even for Snapchat Maps, like for myself, I have, I think, all my locations turned off across every single social media, because it doesn't make sense to leave that open for everyone to see. It's just opening like the Pandora's box of bad faith actors, or those who, cause again, there's a Instagram reel that I saw from a cybersecurity professional where they had noted, yeah, it really just takes one person to use this in the wrong way. So if you have your location shared on or turned on for Instagram, turn it off. Just permissions, settings, turn it off. Don't even risk it. It's just not worth it. And especially because it's just a random news update that has been thrown out there that, oh yeah, we're sharing your location now to all your followers. Have fun, I guess. Don't die. And that's of course a very, dark and pessimistic way of looking at it. And I prefer to be optimistic. It's just recognizing the business decisions do not have the best interest of the users at heart. And that also then parlays into kind of the larger conversation of, again, bachelor's in business and going for a master's of accounting. That's where I'm currently at. And whoever says I look lonely, that's fine. I'm currently driving. What do you expect out of me? But again, the idea that for any business decision, it is all about protecting the bottom line. So the fact that they're rolling it out and they are just pushing the update that automatically shares the location is not in the best interest of the user. Everything, and I really mean everything, on your social media should be opt-in. You should know what you're signing up for, know what you're doing, and there's a reason that like you shouldn't have like a social media till like you're in your teenage years. And that's something I learned kind of the hard way, because I think I got my YouTube account when I was like 13 or 12, like the earliest you could possibly do it. And whoever asked how I'm doing, Flower, nice to meet you. I'm doing pretty well. Just got off work, and now I currently updated my coworkers about the whole Instagram location sharing situation. And my coworkers are female, and so they're like, yeah, that's probably best that we know about that now, because they weren't aware of it. And I also encourage you guys, share the information with your friends, your families, coworkers, whatnot, because it's just such a short-sighted decision to roll something out that puts your users at risk. However, businesses do not act in the interest of the users, they act in the interest of the shareholders. So that's something that we should never forget and always be aware of, because it drives 99% of their decisions, and we feel 100% of the impacts as the people that use their platforms. So just be aware of that fact. And if you got your first channel at 9, because I just skimmed over that message, I mean, yeah, that would track back then. Because at the start of YouTube, there was just like a lot of different, ways you could get an account or that you could start one. But again, back to the point, because it's kind of just like from the rants here as I'm ending the workday and, going off to do my after hours 9 to 5. There's so many decisions that a business to make that does not necessarily reflect what would make our lives easier, make our lives better. And like, I'm gonna even use like the live streaming here as an example, where Senpai Gaming on YouTube is like a well-known streaming content creator, and he has the emphasis that like Google owns YouTube. If Google wanted to win the race into streaming, they could do so. They could plow endless amounts of money behind it. However, every company is instead focusing on the usage of AI. They're focusing on the usage of something that takes all the troves of internet information and our internet data and using it to make things that, while yes, can have useful and helpful applications, for the large part, have resulted in a lot of slop. And that's not an uncommon term, just the amount of slop that you'd see on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. And that is a decision based on the interest of, again, the shareholder. So make sure whenever you are making a either purchase decision or even a life decision, if you're going to like work for a larger company, just know where the interest lies. For the most part, unless you have one of those nice unicorn companies that actively does take care and does a good job of looking out for its employees, know that we are not the priority. And that's just kind of the reality, and that's part of the game that we play and the system that we kind of play into. But that doesn't mean we have to agree to all of it, which again loops back to the idea of turn off your location on Instagram. Just don't do it. But this is more of just a shorter stream as well, because I have a couple errands to run. So the encouragement again is just know what you guys are signing up for. Always opt in when you understand exactly what you're opting in to do and to share, because the benefit for any company decision is that we don't understand what they're grabbing, what they're using, and how they're using it. But the best thing you can do to either make the most of your digital footprint or to limit your digital footprint is to just, again, make it a distinct point of not agreeing to everything, maybe skim over a couple terms and conditions, but just do your due diligence, do your research, and it's going to save you hopefully a lot of headaches later on. But yeah, with that, keep it simple. Have an amazing day. You amazing people. Wait, real quick, what's the chat here? I'm younger than a teenager, so I don't want to stream, but I think I'm pretty mature for my age, but I still don't want to stream. And just in case if some stranger emails me, my mom has my email, so yeah. And see, that's smart. You should still be taking active measures that protect yourself both online and offline. And this is a very important thing for Gen Z, because we were raised on the internet. We were raised being able to, have complete unfiltered access to all the information in the world at the palm of our hands. But that also means, in turn, we also have all of our information essentially, out there for the world to see. Like any data broker, if you were to look one up to see how much information on you exists, it's probably a lot. Like, that's just the fact of the matter. And the more that people use the internet, the more that our digital footprint increases, then there's only so much we're going to be able to do to limit that, which is definitely why companies like Incogni have popped up, where they're like, yeah, we're going to make sure that data brokers don't get your information. But safeguards, limiting factors, multi-factor authentication, whatever you need to do, just make sure you do it safe, do it right. And yeah, again, if you're going to opt in terms and condition, understand what you're opting in for. But once again, keeping everything simple. Have an amazing day. You amazing people. I will see you all for tomorrow morning's morning stream. And I'm honestly probably going to end up ranting about the manosphere because that's been kind of on my mind for the past like 2 weeks, and the fact that I absolutely hate it. So have an amazing day. I'll see y'all next time.